Democrats and Republicans alike are demanding accountability 2 months after the assassination attempt of former President Trump at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. The Senate is getting ready to release a report on the Secret Service's failures that day. Meanwhile, the House is working on its own investigation.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service.
I want the voters of America to decide who's going to be the president and not an assassin's bullet.
Today, the acting director of the Secret Service, Ronald Rowe, briefed members of the House and Senate. Rowe promised transparency from his agency after his predecessor resigned. So far, lawmakers know that the Secret Service didn't even attend a security briefing the morning of Trump's rally. Initially, they were also not going to send snipers to the event. It's clear they communicated very poorly with local law enforcement, and even more disturbing, the Secret Service were aware of the suspect but did not stop Trump from taking the stage.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. What I just showed you was a small clip of some information that's coming out. This came out by Fox Local in Seattle. Supposedly, the Democrat Blumenthal from Connecticut is part of an investigation into what exactly happened that day that Trump was had an assassination attempt done against him, and he's saying that the information that they've come across, that Americans are going to be shocked about it. Now I have a longer clip that I'm going to play in a minute. What I don't understand from this report right here, okay, was the Democrat Lou Carrera, when he said that he wants the American people to vote, to make that decision when they vote, not let a bullet make that decision, okay, or the bullet from an assassin to make the decision. I'm having a lot of mixed thoughts on what he's saying. I don't know if he's being brutally, how can I say, like I said, it's hard for me to understand where he came out like that. If he's just being arrogant, rude, ignorant, whatever the case is, or if he's saying that he wants people to decide for themselves, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he was trying to say by that. I took it as an insult. Okay, I took it as a really disgusting insult. But I may be wrong. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. You guys let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. Okay, but with that being said, on this short clip, I'm going to play the next clip that's longer. Okay, that was put out by Sky News. Which I find really ironic, because I haven't seen any of this information on the mainstream media, and this came out yesterday, I believe. These new, actually, this one came out, like yesterday, 18 hours ago, something like that. Okay, and I'm surprised that it's not all over the mainstream media, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. Okay. I'm just not surprised. But before we continue with that, a couple of things. First, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers, all my new subscribers, and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And also, I'm leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Give, Send, Go campaign, if you guys can help him or leave him words of encouragement and or prayer. Okay. That's one thing. The next thing I want to talk about is, after I show you the clips on this investigation with the Trump assassination attempt, some new news has come out, okay, once again, that is not being shown that much, about Tim Walz, how he basically let the chaos in 2020 in Minnesota happen while he was while he was in charge. And not only did he let it happen, but I don't know if I showed it before or if anybody else has seen it, but his wife was given an interview, and you have to listen to what this woman says, what she has to say about those riots happening. Okay, it's really disturbing, and once again, is just something that you would think that more Democrat voters will look at and really look at the people that are in charge in the Democrat Party and say, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. And I say that because what she has to say, had a Republican said it, I think that they probably would have asked, obviously, for them to get kicked out. If the wife of a Republican said it, I'm sure they would have definitely pushed to kick that person out of Washington. Okay? But when it comes to the Democrats, they can pretty much say whatever they want because, you know, they're right and everybody else is wrong. Okay? But with that being said, let's get to the next video clip so you guys can see what Senator Blumenthal from Connecticut has to say about the meeting that they had to investigate Trump's attempted assassination. Here we go. Okay, this clip was put out by Sky News 21 hours ago, basically a day ago. And like I said, I'm surprised that it's not all over the mainstream media, but here we go.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service in this assassination attempt on the former president. But I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information. And we are going to absolutely insist on the truth and the whole truth.
Okay, just quickly, I'm sure you guys can see the look on that man's face is, if I had to guess, is not only a look of shock, but also a look of shame. Something tells me that they uncovered and they found out who exactly made the call. And I think this man also has the look of disgust on him because he knows that the reason why what happened on July 13th took place was because it was a call from the Democrats. And I think that the information that he's got, like I said, this is just my opinion, that, you know, it's something that opened up his eyes to say, you know what, hold on 1 second. This is really going to hurt the Democrat Party. Just my opinion. But let's continue. And you can read right here. Democrat Senator Richard Blumenthal has revealed Americans will be shocked by a report into Donald Trump's assassination attempt. Let's continue. It says lawmakers are expected to release an interim report on the attempt on the former president's life during a rally in Pennsylvania. They're expected to release it. It's going to be very interesting to find out what they're going to say. And here's the thing. When are they going to release it? Will it be before the election or after the election? That right there is where people need to start understanding that, you know what? If this is going to be something that's going to be damaging to the Democrats, regardless, it needs to be released now. Not after the election. It needs to be released now. Okay? I mean, I know what some people are going to be thinking. Well, if they do that, then it's going to help Trump win. Listen, the day this took place, Trump already won. He already won. But let's continue. The report is set to expose the security failures of those implicated in protecting former President Trump. provided an update on the investigation into the assassination attempt. Following the behind closed doors meeting, Blumenthal spoke to Fox News about what will be found in the report. This came out yesterday, and all you hear on the mainstream media, they're still talking about the debate on Tuesday between Kamala and Trump. You would think that they would have brought this up as breaking news, but they didn't. And like I said, it's not surprising. He said, but I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information. It says Blumenthal did not go into specifics about the report's findings, but was the only senator to directly comment on how the public would react to it. This, I don't know. That's this is speaking volumes, okay? And if it was officials on both sides, why just him? Why just him to come out, okay, and start making statements about this behind closed door meeting? I'm telling you, I don't even have to say it. Everybody knew from the beginning that the whole thing, okay, from the day it happened, smelled like some sort of setup. U.S. Senator Gary Peters also spoke to Fox News and revealed whatever is found in the complete report will ensure this never happens again. It should have never happened in the first place. Not that it will never happen again. It should have never happened in the first place. It should have never happened after Reagan. Okay? I mean, what happened with Kennedy was one thing, what happened with his brother was another thing, and then what happened with Reagan, it's like it should have never happened. For Trump to have been out there in the open, okay, and all the mistakes that were done, and at this point it's not even that mistakes were done, okay? It just smells like what everybody's been saying it smells like. It smells like it was a damn setup. It said it will be coming out shortly and it'll only be an interim report because there's a lot more information that we need to find. Yeah, no kidding. And we hope once this report comes out and we can get the additional information necessary to have a complete report of what happened, as well as steps of what we need to do in the future to make sure that this never happens. Yeah, you said that already. The Secret Service's Office of Protective Operations Assistant Director Michael Platty also recently announced his retirement. Well, check that shit out. I wonder why. Platty was in charge of planning for the protection of Trump, U.S. President Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and others during his tenure. The assistant director is set to retire on Friday, which is today, and has been with the government agency for 27 years. I'm telling you, people are going to have to go to prison. Okay? this that's happening right now, and all of a sudden this guy wants to retire right when information is supposed to come out, something tells me that, you know what, I mean, it just smells more and more like it was an inside job, it was a setup, and somebody from up top gave the order. Okay, and if it didn't come from somebody from up top, that means that there are, I should say, rogue agents, okay, within these organizations that no president will be safe. Okay? According to Fox News sources involved at the highest level of the internal investigation, Platty was encouraged but not asked to retire or resign. Check that out. And there you have it, folks. That came out by Sky News. It's funny that it's not on MSNBC, CNN, or anything like that. Oh no, it can't be on there. Okay. In fact, I haven't been home all day anyway, but I'm wondering if Fox News is putting this out. Okay. But now there's going to be some, if I had to guess, there's going to be some name dropping. Okay. And this is something that everybody needs to pay attention to. And in all honesty, if it's really something, and I mean, listen, all is fair in love and war, especially now with the way things are going on, you know, in this country, the way the left have gone so far off the rails. If this was something that was perpetrated by the left, this information needs to be put out now. No more lying about what they're going to do to make things better. You've had your time, you've had your chance, and that's it. If this is something, in all honesty, that will definitely make people on the left and independents say, you know what, I am done with the Democrat Party, then damn it, this is what's owed to the American people. Too many people have suffered, and too many people have been lied to. And they're still suffering, and they're still being lied to by the left. Okay? Because in their eyes, everything that they do is right, is righteous, they're also self-pious, but yet all you see is the non-stop corruption coming from the left. Okay? So it's going to be very interesting when they're going to drop this sort, you know, whatever information they say they have. Okay? And I hope that when they do, that it's going to be something that's going to resonate throughout all the news media, because regardless, at the end of the day, regardless of who made the call, okay, people need to understand that this is not the way a civilized nation is supposed to act. This is not the way a government is supposed, an American government is supposed to be going after, okay, people that they disagree with. This is not how it's done. Okay, it's not how it's done. But we'll wait and see what comes out in the next few days. Is going to be very interesting. But with that being said, the next story that I'm going to show you is about Tim Walz and his wife, and all the riots that happened in what they call the Summer of Love in Minnesota, and the vile, disgusting nature of the way his wife, of how she thought about it. I mean, I think it's totally disgusting, and I think that just with her interview alone, that Congress, I don't know if it can be done, but I think that the Republicans need to push to get Tim Walz out of running with Kamala Harris. Okay, I mean, plain and simple, because it's just horrible. But before I play that, just some quick news. Okay, it's my birthday weekend, my birthday Sunday. So I just want to share that with you guys. I will be working, but I'll also be trying to drop a video. If you guys want to help the channel, buy a t-shirt, you want to donate to my Cash App, that'd be great. If you're watching for the first time, if you really want to help, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up if you like what you see, and help the channel grow. Just wanted to throw it out there. It's my birthday. I mean, what can I say? I'm trying. But anyway, with that, let's get to the next video with Tim Walz and his wife. Here we go. This video clip was put out by the Washington Examiner.
Violent crime in Minnesota remains significantly elevated due to the lingering effects of the summer 2020 riots, in addition to the prosecution's refusal to hold criminals accountable.
House Republicans are pummeling former congressman turned presidential running mate Governor Tim Walz over his handling of Minneapolis-St. Paul riots that racked the state in 2020 and have had a reeling impact on the state in the years since.
Tim Walz's record on crime has left Minnesota in crisis. During his tenure, the state has become a place where criminals run free, where law enforcement is assailed, and where families are without the safety and security they deserve.
Jim Schultz, president of the Minnesota Private Business Council, said the decline began in 2020 when the police killing of George Floyd, a black man, led to protests and riots in the streets that lasted weeks.
As governor, Tim Walz refused to deploy the National Guard for days, allowing violence to escalate unchecked. While flames engulfed his cities, Walz twiddled his thumbs. By the time he finally acted, Minneapolis suffered over $500 million in damage.
Unreal.
His inaction inspired violence across the country.
According to Representative Andy Biggs, chairman of the Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Federal Government Surveillance, the 2020 riots resulted in 1,500 businesses vandalized, looted,
Unreal.
and damaged in Minneapolis-St. Paul area, an $8 million deduction in Metropolitan Police funding, and 67 buildings destroyed by the fires. Brian Ingram, founder and CEO of Purpose Driven Restaurants in Minnesota, also testified about how he has been affected by crime.
I moved to Minnesota in 2012 from New York. In those first 5 or 6 years, I had one burglary that happened. Since 2019 and beyond, I know we're north of 12 burglaries. I cannot tell you how many incidences at one of our restaurants in downtown St. Paul that we've had overdoses, that we've had people on our patios overturning them. I can't tell you how many times we've seen violent acts taking place in our restaurants.
Schultz said,
You know, it's a damn shame for somebody to leave a state, okay, especially from New York, knowing the way the crime and everything is going, and then they think, you know what, let me move to another area where I think, where I think is going to be safer. And it was for a while, and then you get somebody like Tim Walz in, and everything just falls apart, turns to shit. And yet you have Tim Walz and Kamala Harris out there touting to everybody that they are the future, that they are going to be what's best for this country. They're going to bring democracy back to this country. But yet, they let the crime run rampant, they let the drugs run rampant, they let the illegal migrants run rampant, and it's like you have all these things that are coming to light, and yet the mainstream media keeps protecting them and hiding this information, okay, from the public. And then they have the nerve, and I'm going to keep saying it, when Kamala came out and said during the debate, okay, that Donald Trump is a disgrace. But yet look at the way Nancy Pelosi, look at her district, Oakland, Kamala's district, okay, Minnesota, and not just with Tim Walz, also with Ilhan Omar, okay, look at Michigan, okay, New York, Chicago, Colorado, Seattle, Oregon, okay? It just goes on and on and on. More crime, more drug addicts, more problems. And yet they're the ones saying that everybody needs to be careful of the people on the right and Donald Trump because he's going to destroy this country. They're doing a pretty good damn job of doing it themselves. But let's continue.
businesses in the Twin Cities have closed left and right due to break-ins, theft, and vandalism that often results in drop charges or a plea deal for the suspect.
Large parts of Minneapolis and St. Paul, after decades of successful growth and investment, have become ghost towns, substantially driven by violent crime. Once a powerhouse renowned for generating companies like Target and Best Buy and General Mills, Minnesota now boasts the distinction of having the 6th slowest growing economy in the entire nation.
Schultz pointed to WALZ for not stopping the Minnesota Freedom Fund as it fundraised $40 million that was used to bail out suspected criminals.
Thanks to Kamala Harris's favorite charity and WALZ's tacit endorsement, Violent offenders have received get-out-of-jail-free cards, and Minnesotans have paid the price with their lives.
However, preliminary state data released in January concluded statewide crime was down across the board in 2023.
Again, Donald Trump was right. During the debate, he brought up this fact, and Kamala denied it. And then he was told by one of the moderators that crime was actually down, but Trump came out and said that's not true. They only reported what was happening around the country, but not in the blue states and blue cities. And here you got it being said right here, okay, I'll play it again so you guys can hear that that's exactly what the case was. That the FBI, instead of reporting all of the crime, they only reported crime that was going on, and if I had to guess, in the red states, which is low, okay, but they weren't going to report what was going on in the blue states and cities because that would have just, blown the whole statistics out of the water. Let's continue.
Get-out-of-jail-free cards, and Minnesotans have paid the price with their lives.
However, preliminary state data released in January concluded statewide crime was down across the board in 2023, including homicide, car theft, larceny, and rape. Representative Lucy McBath defended Democratic lawmakers and the White House's record addressing crime.
Over the last 4 years, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and congressional Democrats have acted time and time again to invest in law enforcement, prevent crime, and make sure that those who commit these crimes are held accountable.
That's a crock of shit. Okay? First of all, New York and Chicago have cut down on their police force. I just did a video about Chicago cutting more services to the fire department, the police force, and EMS. Crime has spiked in New York and in Chicago. Okay? I just showed you a video about in Maryland up to date for this fiscal year of 161 illegal migrants that have been arrested for sexual assault. Okay? Not to mention the crime that's being reported coming out of California, all the crime coming out of Seattle. Okay? Look at all the crime that's been all over the news about what's going on in Colorado with the Venezuelan migrants. Look at what's going on in Ohio. Okay? But yet, they're going to keep putting down that since 2023 or whatever the case is, that crime is down all around the country, when that's not even what the individual reports are showing. Okay? They keep lying to the American citizens and making it seem, don't believe your lying eyes. Just turn a blind eye. Don't worry about all the crime. Go about your life. They're not understanding that this is everything, all their policies are affecting people's lives and or taking away their lives. Okay? And it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, independent, black, white, gay, straight, Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. Innocent people's lives are at risk. And the Democrats don't give a flying rat's ass.
Even so, those actions followed months-long calls by Democrats in 2020 to defund the police amid the 2020 killing of Floyd.
Of course they would. And they're still calling to defund the police because they're still doing it. Because they find money to let all the illegals in, house them, give them room and board, give them whatever incentives that they can, while cutting services that should be rightly beefed up, okay, by the taxpayers' hard-earned money that they're taking from them, but they won't. And then when crime is running rampant, right away, then when they want to say, no, actually crime is down. It's insane the way these Democrats, they keep sticking to a false narrative. Okay, this is why I've been saying these Democrat officials in power do not care about human life, period. Okay? And to make matters worse, I'm going to play the clip of Tim Walz's wife so you guys can hear what she had to say during that all those riots, okay, when the city was basically burning down. Here we go. This was put up by the New York Post a month ago.
I could smell the burning tires, and that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
She kept the windows open. I guess so she can smell, okay, what was going on. As if it was some damn aphrodisiac. Okay? I mean, what kind of a person thinks like that? What kind of a person thinks that it's okay for the people to riot for whatever social justice cause that they think they have, to go and just destroy, okay, tens of thousands of people's lives around Minnesota, their businesses, their livelihoods, okay? And while her husband is in charge, okay, sat on his hands for days, not calling in backup, National Guard or whatever have you, and she has the nerve to say that she stayed in the house and she opened the window because it was a touchstone moment. I tell you, man, you know, sometimes I'll watch like all these alien conspiracy theory shows and stuff like that, and you hear about people like David Icke and them saying that there are reptilians in human flesh, okay, among us. Some of the most evil beings in creation walking among us. You know, I have to be one of the first ones to say, God forgive me, but you know what? I listen to some of these Democrats, and it would not surprise me if they are. Okay? Because it takes a special kind of demented, knowing that innocent people lost their lives during these riots, and to think that it was a touchstone moment. Unbelievable. It says in a resurfaced KSTP interview, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's wife described her actions during the June 2020 riots. When reposted on X, the bizarre comments received major backlash from critics. This is such a wild thing to say. Her husband didn't call in the National Guard. Sorry, let me go back. These are people leaving comments. A comment by Tyler on X. This is such a wild thing to say. Her husband didn't call in the National Guard just so she could keep smelling the tire fires. Incredible. Never forget, these people are nuts. Yeah. Governor Walz was previously accused of downplaying the riots, delaying deployment of the National Guard, and failing to coordinate with police. And it's true, he did, because those riots should have been shut down with it. I understand that the first night, second night, you got to mobilize everybody, but you know what? Why did it take 8 weeks? It is just, that was not something that they couldn't control. That was something that this man and the powers that be wanted to happen. Their daughter, Hope, now 19, was reportedly their daughter, Hope, now 19, also reportedly tried to share confidential law enforcement plans with the protesters at the time. Check that out. This is all news to me, if this is true. And if this is true, okay, I mean, this man should have never been an elected official in Minnesota. Okay? If all this is true, he should be in prison. His daughter should be in prison.
Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Yeah, take what across the country? What will be a privilege? You couldn't even handle a state. Never mind being the vice president to the whole country. You know, I tell you, these Democrats, I mean, more and more of their dirty laundry is getting aired out, and it's like, in their eyes, they don't care. They don't care. And what really gets me are the voters. The way that regardless, they stick by them. Now, here's the thing with that. On the news today, the Fani Willis trial, more cases, okay, against Donald Trump have been dropped. There's still a few more to go. I should say charges. There's still some more charges to go, but a bunch more charges have been dropped by a judge. Okay, as a matter of fact, they're saying that Fannie Willis is supposed to show face, and she's denying, okay, a court, I believe it's a court-ordered subpoena. Okay, so it's like she's trying to call the shots, and it's like, that's not how it works, sweetheart. The judge is telling you, you're the one that's involved in this case also. And she's going to come out and make it seem like I don't have to listen to you. You know, what the hell is wrong with these Democrats? This is why people look at them like this, like as if they're just so evil. Okay? You got all this garbage coming out of them, and they still find a way to brainwash people. And it doesn't help that you have all their leftist, what do you call it, shills, okay, throughout social media, eating up the minds of young people, and just soft-minded people for that matter. And no matter what information keeps coming out, no matter what garbage that it's either concrete evidence in the beginning or it ends up being concrete evidence, they still maintain power. And this is why I get upset, like I keep saying, with the Republicans, because they don't push hard enough to get these people kicked out of Washington and or put in jail. Meanwhile, you have people who were just at the Capitol on January 6th, who were sought after, okay, then law enforcement was sent to their houses, and they're doing time right now, still, in the gulags of Washington, D.C. Okay? I mean, I tell you, this whole administration, this is one wicked den of vipers in this whole administration. Okay? As a matter of fact, I think is Kirby, Jonathan Kirby or John Kirby, whatever it is. I have the video. I gotta drop a video on it. He was caught sending an email that ended up going, I believe, to Fox. He sent out a mass email, okay? And Fox, I think it was Fox News, wasn't supposed to get it, but they got it. And he is actually belittling, okay, the soldiers, those 13 soldiers that died in the Afghanistan withdrawal. And I believe it has something to do with people wanting, I believe the families wanting Biden and Kamala to be at that memorial that Trump went to. And he wound up sending an email, and it is it's pathetic the way this man talks about those soldiers that lost their lives. Okay? But I need to do some more research on that to make sure that I got all the facts straight. And once again, if it's true, how this man is still in Washington is beyond me. I'm telling you, these are some wicked people in power, man. Some really wicked people in power. They truly are. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And I'll be leaving a link for Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign. Don't forget, this is my birthday weekend, my birthday Sunday. If you guys want to help out the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesomely appreciated. Trying to get all my subscription count up and keep this movement and this channel going strong. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Keep praying for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.